Happy Easter, everybody, from the MKM Stadium, where Hull City have drawn 0-0 with Coventry City, the champions-elect, have failed to break down the Tigers for the second time this season. And in truth, it was nothing more than the Tigers deserved. For the first 20 minutes, they were exceptional. They came flying out of the blocks, had 2 or 3 really good moments. Coventry got themselves in the game. Is a draw a fair result? Interested to get your thoughts. But I really enjoyed watching City play tonight against a team that are going to the Premier League, that are miles clear, have scored the most goals. They never really look like scoring. Their only shot on target in the entire game, Coventry, was a shot from the edge of the box in the first half after the referee played an advantage for a foul on Sakamoto, I think it was. That was it. They didn't have a single effort on target in the second half. Never really looked like scoring. Took off Jakirovic, brought on Ellis Sims, Jack Redoney, who scored 2 really good goals to beat Derby County on Friday night. Never really got a sniff. Frank Lampard was moaning about the pitch, not happy with the pitch. Also felt there was a penalty for a handball on Louis Coyle in the second half. But look, City went toe to toe with them, and if there's one criticism of the Tigers tonight, it would be just a lack of final ball, a lack of quality in and around the penalty area. There's a couple of moments in the first half. One time when the skipper got in down the left-hand side, pulled it back. It was just behind Miller. Crooks had to change his direction and laid it off to Drame, who shot over. Drame shot over. He also saw a shot blocked around that time as well. There was Joe Galhart almost clipped the crossbar with a rasping drive, and there were 1 or 2 other moments as well. McBurney had a looping header in injury time at the end of the game that looped over, funnily enough. There was a moment where Galhart was played through down the right hand side and he was flagged offside. He wasn't offside, and the manager got booked for his protestations, but he says, well, I could tell when Sergej played the ball over the top, I could tell because of the rugby lines that he was well onside. Jakirovic got booked for that. There was another moment where Amir Hadzimitovic surged forward and was fouled by, I think it was Matt Grimes, but he was quite away from goal and there was a covering defender. So I know we've talked quite a lot about covering defenders in the last couple of City games, well, West Brom away and Oxford on Friday, but it was never a red card. The referee got it right. I guess they would say the contentious one, and their media guys in there really unhappy with the penalty decision, as they were against Derby on Friday when Rushworth was adjudged to have made the foul and gave away a penalty. But look, I think it was as 0-0s go, I think it was a really watchable game, a really enjoyable game. So I thought City went at it. There were periods in the game where Coventry were on top. There were periods in the game where City were on top, and they looked a good side tonight. If you weren't, I think for the people watching that have maybe heard a little bit of criticism around City this season about the way they play, or don't know anything and just watch 2 teams in the top 5 going at it, I think they would be impressed by what they saw from the Tigers tonight. And you know, it's another point. It's a clean sheet. It's 2 points over Easter. It could have been more. For me, it should have been more at Oxford. But to come out of it unbeaten in 2 very difficult games, but 2 very different games for different reasons. Obviously, Oxford at home, fighting for their lives. You come away with a point, and Coventry tonight, you know, on the verge of getting promoted. It felt in some ways as if they were content with the point, having beaten Derby Friday, seen the results elsewhere tonight or earlier in the day, knowing that they're on the brink now. I didn't feel like they really went at it in the second half, really hammered on the door. But give credit to City, who I thought defended for the most part brilliantly. The fact that, you know, as I say, that the league's most potent, attacking team had 1 shot on target in the game, and that was a scrambled effort from the edge of the box. That's testament to how well City were organised. How I thought the goalkeeper had very little to do. You know, Cody was very good against Mason Clark down one side. Louis had a difficult night up against Sakamoto down the other side, but stuck to his task really, really well. Did he get fortunate with the handball? I mean, I've seen one grainy slow-mode replay. The linesman is bang in front of it. The referee is there as well. I guess on another day, maybe it gets given. For me, if it didn't get given, they earned that little bit of luck. I thought John Egan and Shemi Ajay were excellent. Probably for me the best player on the pitch was Toby Collier. Came in for his full debut in the centre of park, 1 of 5 changes alongside Amir, who was another change. I thought them 2 were brilliant. Collier got obviously on loan from Manchester United, got a standing ovation. He played 70 odd minutes, and I thought he was tremendous, absolutely tremendous. He was nicking the ball, he was winning tackles, he was getting on it, he was shifting it. A couple of wayward passes in the first half when he was maybe on a different wavelength to McBurney at one point and Crooks at another, but that's to be expected. But I was, we've waited a long time to see Toby Collier play a meaningful game for City, and I mean a chunk of time. We've seen cameos, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant. McBurney, I said after the game at Oxford that I felt that Crooks playing deeper doesn't work. Getting forward to play up with McBurney, to get the flick-ons, to take some of the physical pressure off McBurney's shoulders. And I like Crooks. I thought they looked more fluid in attack. It didn't create a huge amount in the second half. Liam Miller, it was an absolutely wonderful turn in the first half down the West Ham flank, and he got away and then was pulled back and got a free kick. He showed glimpses tonight. But look, all in all, I thought it was a really, really good team performance. And to only get a point, I think there'll be people that will be disappointed and go, well, they've only got 2 points out of 6 over Easter. But I think in the context of the games, the stage of the season, everybody's fighting for something. I think they beat Sheffield. That's 5 points in the last 3 games, and they're difficult games. They beat Sheffield Wednesday, and then to get a point at Oxford. I still think that's 2 drop, but you have to take it, and I think that's a good point tonight. Again, it could have on another night. It could have been more had they've got. Who knows? Had they've got the goal early on, does that change the way Coventry play? Do they come out? You just don't know. Ifs, buts, maybes. But I think the fact that the fans were brilliant tonight, right with them, and they applauded the team off, standing ovation at the end. I think the fans here tonight appreciated the effort from their team, the fight, the second balls, and they're right in it, aren't they? They're right in the play. It's still in their hands. 5 games to go. Sheffield United on Saturday. I think they'll get a lot of confidence from the manner of their performance tonight, how organised they were, disciplined against the best team in the league by some distance. So look, really pleasing performance tonight. I really enjoyed it. I've got a long journey to Heathrow now, so I'm going to take some questions. I won't be at the Sheffield United game on Saturday. I've been invited out to Toronto to go and do a preview on the World Cup in Toronto, so I should be there, unfortunately. So it's the first game I'm going to miss for a while. But Will Jackson, Hull City fan of Rugby League Parish, is going to be covering me at Bramall Lane. So hopefully Will can bring us 3 massive points in the Steel City like we had last season. So let's quickly, before I head off, tackle some questions. Alistair says, good football, 2 good teams going for it. Should be an exciting running up the top. Absolutely. It was really nice. I was doing really boring adult stuff earlier on, like cutting the grass, so the kids have got something to play on while I'm away. And I was trying to keep in touch with Portsmouth and Oxford, and how nice it was to watch that, knowing we're not involved in that. It's look at all the stress and strain on those 2 teams and the fans and the managers and everything. We're in a wonderful position. It's a 5-game shootout, and obviously Southampton play Wrexham tomorrow night. There's other games coming up where teams play each other. On paper, that's by far the toughest game that City have got. Is ticked off now, so it's in their hands. They're in a wonderful position, and it's such an exciting, as you say, Alistair, what an exciting run-in it's going to be. Let's have a look. What else have we got? I tell you, Collier was playing very good. Egan, man of the match. Final ball, either short. I thought John Egan was absolutely brilliant. So close to scoring in that first half as well. When Carl Rushworth, ex-City loanee, of course, came out and made an absolute hash of a ball in the box. And Eags smacked it towards goal, and he could do no more. He got it on target, and you have to give credit to Liam Kitchen for making a block. Them's are the sort of ones that go for you, I think, when you're at the top of the league. But yeah, I thought Egan was absolutely top class tonight. I'd have probably given it Collier, just because first game for the Tigers in from the start, I would have given it Collier, but I have no issue with it going to John Egan, because I thought he was absolutely tremendous. And also Shemi Ajay as well. The way he completely played Haji Wright and Ellis Sims out of the game. I thought the pair of them were brilliant. But Coyle on the left side playing out of position, Cody at right back against Ephraim Mason-Clark, who's one of the best in the league on the flank. So it's I don't think you could criticise anybody tonight. Gelhardt, quiet night. I thought Miller, as I say, Miller was good in patches. McBurney worked his knackers off. He even got a free kick in the first half. I couldn't believe it. I was going to put the flags out. Yeah, the referee actually gave him a free kick, but then, almost to even it out, he gave a free kick against McBurney moments later for absolutely nothing. So, whatever. But as I say, I thought Amir was excellent. Collier, tremendous in midfield. So, but yeah, I thought Egan was outstanding. I would be surprised if Charlie Hughes comes back in on Saturday. They're just on the subject of Hughes. They are managing a little niggle. We reported that a few weeks ago that Charlie had got a niggle, and he's been playing with that for a while. So, and as Sergej said to me afterwards, when you've got Egan playing like that, you've got Shemi Ajay playing as well as he played tonight. You've got Paddy McNair, who was exceptional against Sheffield Wednesday a couple before the break. They don't need to risk Charlie. Mikey, we bossed the midfield. Both Amir and Collier were superb. Don't think they had a clear-cut chance in the entire game. Mikey, I echo that absolutely. You know, I watched much of their game against that lot on Friday night, and Matt Grimes just bossed the midfield. He didn't tonight, and that's a testament to Collier and to Amir. And I just really like what they did. Their movement, their energy, the way they battled, they ran around, they tackled, they got the ball and shifted it from side to side. And it was just that final ball in and around the opposition box that let them down. With a bit better quality, perhaps we're sitting here tonight, you know, raving about a victory, but it wasn't to be. But as I say, you respect the point, and I think it's a very good point. John Paul says Gelhardt was definitely offside. Lee says, what's your gut feeling in terms of getting in the playoffs? What's the latest regards to players returning from injury and coming back? I'm still in the camp of I think they'll get in the playoffs. I think they deserve. They're there on merit. They deserve to be. They're going to need a couple more wins. I think that Birmingham and Charlton game are massive. But if they go to Sheffield United on Saturday and turn in a performance, you know, Wilder may want a performance from his team. He may want to get one over on City, who beat him in the early part of the season. Lundstrom, McBurney, Egan, etc. But his team aren't very good, are they? Let's be honest. They're having a terrible season. They're beaten today again at Bristol City. He's been very critical of his team. Get that first goal and turn that Bramall Lane crowd, then that's a massive opportunity. First 20 minutes will be key there. Don't concede in that first 20 minutes and give that crowd something to get behind. But their season's finished. They're 10 points clear of the bottom three. They ain't getting in the playoffs, so he's looking at it for next season. So if they go there, get first goal on Saturday, that could be a massive one, depending on what happens tomorrow night. And as I say, you know, there's one or two other teams who've got to play each other. So I'm still positive, and I'm enthused after what I've seen tonight, Lee. In terms of players coming back, Matty Jacob back on the bench. Darko's training with the group. Giles, they think, for Birmingham, and possibly you Hirakawa as well. So let's wait and see. But I'm sure Willow get an update from the gaffer when they do press on Thursday. Harry, I love that. Play like that for the rest of the season and we'll get promoted. Jordan says, great effort tonight. Can we perform like that for the remaining games and put a few to the sword? Certainly hope so. Absolutely. It should give them confidence. That's got to be the blueprint for the remaining 4 or 5 games. And when they get into the playoffs and they're playing high caliber teams, you know, certainly at home, that's got to be the way they play. Compact, tight, disciplined, but just carry a greater threat in that final third with a bit more quality. Josh says Drame and Collier are outstanding. Don't disagree with that. John Paul again, best we've looked in midfield for a while. Collier, absolute quality. Can't disagree either. Lee says that's a massive point. Absolutely. Steve, great game. I agree. Amir and Toby were outstanding. Don't envy your drive to London. Yeah, I did it after the Wrexham game here. Before Christmas, when I went out to Utrecht and I had to drive to Heathrow. It's not ideal. But at least the flight is a later flight to Toronto than it was to Amsterdam. I think the Amsterdam flight was 8 o'clock, so that was a killer. Wayne, what a game, completely different to Friday's game. But like you said, many weeks we are losing. Drawing to teams we should be winning against, then winning. Sorry, I'm losing. I've lost Wayne. Look, in terms of that, it's the Championship, and Oxford has something to play for. When we get a goal in front, we should have gone and won the game. Sloppy error, get them. They get back on terms. It boosts them. They get a point. No one gives you anything in this league. You have to earn it, and they didn't deserve to win the game on Friday. For me, they were very good tonight, with and without the ball. So look, you have to take. They don't draw many games. I think I'm right in thinking 6 before the Easter weekend. So they're one of the fewest drawing teams in the league. So they don't draw many games. Look, they've not lost. It's a good point. They've done to Coventry what nobody else can do, and that's to get 2 clean sheets against them. So take the positive. Thanks, Alistair. Appreciate that. Right, what else have we got? Jordan, it was a great game to hear. Even national radio coverage of the game tonight was so positive for us getting the credit we deserved. Fingers crossed for the rest of the season that we can finish the play. Like I said, I think that was there would have been a lot of the country watching that tonight. Easter Monday, prime game, no Premier League or European football. I think a lot of people would have watched that, and I think that I'd like to think they would have been really impressed by what they saw from City tonight. I mean, I have nothing more to add than I enjoyed watching them. I thought first ball, second ball, they grafted. And as we all know, and the players know it, that little bit of quality which separates the top teams from the teams down, they didn't quite have that tonight, and they probably lacked that in the last 2 or 3 weeks at West Brom. They lacked it at 0-0 when McBurney had a couple of chances to go in to put them in front. Then they lacked the quality at the other end, and they got punished. Didn't quite have that quality when it mattered at Oxford. With Crooks losing the ball in midfield, and then Charlie giving away the pen. But look, it's the Championship. It's a hard league. Everybody's fighting for something. Everybody's got a cause. I said this on Friday. Teams aren't just going to turn up and go, "Oh, Hull City want to get promoted, so here's 3 points." Everyone's got they're in their own way. Their futures. Their players are playing for their futures, their livelihoods. Their staff, managers, relegation. We know what it was like last year. Everybody's grafting for something. And look, I thought City were fantastic tonight, and probably they didn't get the just deserves for what they probably warranted at spells in that game. But you take the point and move on. Danny says the balance of that midfield was perfect. Collier and Amir absolutely brilliant all night. A massive shout out to both John Egan and Shemi Ajay. Absolute rocks at the back all night. Egan's the unsung hero of the squad this season. His positional awareness was super. Yeah, I think Egan's right up there for Player of the Year. I really do. He's been absolutely tremendous. And to say that the manager's openly said that Ajay and Hughes are his first choice defensive partnership. I think Egan has been absolutely outstanding, and it's great that Egan's got himself back in the Irish setup as well, and that's because he's playing so well for Hull City. So for me, Egan has to start at Bramall Lane. Absolutely no doubt about that. Chris, another call for Toby and Amir, saying excellent. Tony says great performance. Same again from now on. Egan, Ajay stood out. Collier, man of the match. It's nice to see so many positive comments, actually, and it's almost universal. That based on what you're saying as well, and the reaction of the stadium throughout the game, and standing ovations for players coming off, particularly Collier, and at the end of the game, that shows the fans appreciated what the team left out there tonight, and against, as I said, and as we all know, the best team in the league by some distance. Jamie says we didn't miss Hughes. Speaks volumes about tonight's team performance. I think you make a fair point there, Jamie. It speaks volumes absolutely for Shemi and for Eags. Christopher says regularly to the podcast as well. Thank you, Chris. Another point closer. Absolutely agree with that. What did Liam used to say? Points accumulation. Peter says big difference tonight. Players carried the ball forward. Yeah, you make a good point. That was the thing they didn't have on Friday so much. I thought tonight Collier and Amir, when they got on the ball, they were looking to drive forward. They were picking up second balls. Collier was getting his toe in, and that's what Cameron Brannigan was doing for Oxford on Friday afternoon. He was doing that job that Collier did, and I think Collier actually did it better tonight. You'd expect that, in fairness to Collier coming from Manchester United, with respect to Brannigan, who I think's a top top player. And if City was still in the Championship next year, I'd be going to try and get Collier, Brannigan, and I'd be trying to get Lancashire out of Spurs as well. So, right, Paul, why are our throw-ins a waste of time? Must be the only team in the league who don't deploy the long throw. Well, not the biggest team, are they? Unless they commit like Egan and Ajay forward, they aren't massive. But it was a tactic that Coventry used tonight, and either Egan or Ajay got first ball. So Michael says great performance tonight. Agree with that, mate. You're absolutely right. I'm going to call it quits there, folks, because it's 25 to midnight. Thank you so much for joining at this ungodly hour. All the lights have gone off here, so that's how late we are. City, 5th in the Championship, still in touch with the top 2. Keep an eye out for that Wrexham-Southampton game tomorrow night. That could be interesting. A 0-0 draw here against the champions-elect Coventry. Two 2-0 draws against Coventry this season. City firmly in the promotion hunt. 5 games to go, and they'll do it all again at Bramall Lane on Thursday. Plenty more, of course, to come over the next few days. Have a good week, everybody. If you're one of the 3,000 or so heading to Bramall Lane, bring back the 3 points, and I'll see you again soon. Up the Tigers.